Sorry folks, the dreaded but inevitable news has come. Mere hours after yesterday's post inquiring about Sumo's isolation policies, and we find that Sumo now has to enact them for real. An unnamed lower division wrestler has indeed tested positive for the coronavirus. It's been a very confusing 48 hours. According to Sankei and Nikkan Sports, both unable to visit wrestlers directly and thus forced to print the same press releases, the wrestler developed a fever on April the 4th, which subsided but then returned again and continued until April the 8th, accompanied by feelings of lethargy and bloody phlegm. Judged to have met the government's criteria for a virus test, a fever for 4 straight days, he went to hospital on the 8th and undertook what's been described as a simple coronavirus test, presumably with a kit recently introduced to the market. The result initially came back as positive, however, for reasons not clearly explained, it was later deemed a false positive by the hospital. The Rikishi was then kept in hospital to undergo a comprehensive PCR test on April the 9th, and the positive result was sadly confirmed today, April the 10th. A somber Shibatayama Oyakata, in charge of Sumo's media relations, said by telephone, "It really strikes you how close to home this is. I am praying ardently that his condition doesn't become serious. He's obviously a strong young man, and we hope that'll be enough to pull him through. But with this news coming just 2 months after hundreds of wrestlers were barred from giving blood due to underlying health conditions, nothing can be taken for granted." Due to, I suspect, wider stigmatization issues in society, the name and stable of the infected Rikishi have been withheld. However, we understand his stable is working hard to trace possible infection routes. Yesterday's reports stated that if he did test positive, everyone else in the stable would automatically be tested. Today, however, somewhat worryingly, that line has changed, with the stable stressing that no one else is showing symptoms and it will only test unless specifically asked to do so by the local public health office. It's one of the best illustrations I can give you of the gap in testing philosophy between Japan and most of its Western counterparts. The Sumo Association has made tremendous efforts to protect its wrestlers thus far, but it was naive to think that under a stable system centered upon very close human contact, and sending youngsters out into town on errands every day, even its best efforts could guarantee that the virus wouldn't come through its doors. Statistically, it was bound to, most likely on an asymptomatic level, but as of today, on a symptomatic one. It is Japan's precious national sport, meaning the Japanese government must ensure it has the tools it needs to deal with a problem which threatens the existence of the entire stable system.